Hello and a very warm welcome to today's webinar within our .Rural webinar series Digital Bytes. .Rural is an Erasmus Plus funded project aiming at improving the digital skills in rural tourism. And my name is Christina, and I'm very pleased to welcome you again on behalf of the Institute Centuris, which is an institute for market research and regional development at the University of Passau in Germany. And in today's webinar, it's an honor to welcome Verena Wanninger, representing the East Bavarian Tourism Association, which is one of our project partners for several years already in several tourism projects. And in today's webinar, we will have kind of a discussion with Verena about Freeda, which is an AI-based tool to support experience planning in tourism. And the tool is currently developed in an Interreg-funded project called Digitalization Initiative East Bavaria and Upper Austria. And it's a great tool, and we are really looking forward to get to know it in more detail. But yeah, first of all, I would like to hand over to you, Verena, to present yourself, the East Bavarian Tourism Association, and the project in more detail.
Thank you, Christina, for your introduction. I'm just gonna share my screen real quick. Okay, so hi, my name is Verena Wanninger. I'm working for the Tourismusverband Ostbayern, or East Bavarian Tourism Association, and I'm showing you some things about Freeda, our digital project. So a few words about the Tourismusverband Ostbayern. Okay, this doesn't work. Okay. The Tourismusverband Ostbayern supports and promotes tourism in Lower Bavaria and the Upper Palatine, so East Bavaria, basically. We work with destinations, tourism businesses and partners to strengthen the region and make it attractive for visitors from Germany and abroad. The Tourism Association includes 5 destinations. Bayerisches Thermenland. I can't really. There's not really an English term for it. So Städte in Ostbayern, which are the cities in East Bavaria, Oberpfälzer Wald, it's the Upper Palatine Forest, the Bavarian Forest, and the Bavarian Jura. So here you can see this is Eastern Bavaria, so it's quite a big region in Bavaria. The Tourism Association includes 5 destinations, like I just said, and 22 tourism departments or districts, cities. And this means we work as an umbrella organization for about 300 towns and cities involved in tourism. So this is a bit of a picture that we are looking over quite a few cities and towns. To further develop tourism, we are part of the Interreg Bavaria Austria program, working together with our partners in Upper Austria. We oversee an estimate of 12,000 tourism service providers, hosts and experience providers that exist in mostly rural regions in Eastern Bavaria and Upper Austria. So these are our partners. We have here us, Ostbayern Tourismus, with the Bavarian Forest and Bayerische Thermenland, and Oberösterreich with the Donau region, or Danube region, Quellenviertel and the Mühlviertel. The goal is to support sustainable and digital tourism development across the border. This includes helping tourism businesses improve their digital skills and making more tourism offers available online. A key part of the project is the development of a digital cross-border travel companion called Freeda. Freeda is a web-based tool that helps visitors plan their trips by providing personalized recommendations for accommodations, activities, tours, events, and also like restaurants. And we do this by connecting tourism data from Eastern Bavaria and Upper Austria. So Freeda makes it easier for guests to discover experiences across the region and, well, especially across the border of Germany and Austria.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Verena, for this first impression and explanation. So perhaps you could tell us more about the general idea behind developing a tool like Freeda. So which challenges and experience planning did you identify and aim to solve with the tool?
So the idea behind developing Freeda was to make travel and experience planning a lot easier, more personalized because we're working with AI, and more inspiring for visitors in Eastern Bavaria and Upper Austria. Many guests find it difficult to discover relevant activities, events, tours, and accommodations because the information is often spread across many different platforms. And with Freeda, we aim to bring these offers together and provide a little bit of a more personalized recommendations in one place, helping visitors plan their trips more easily and discover experiences they might otherwise miss because they quite hidden or in smaller villages. So Freeda can be important for rural regions where many tourism experiences are less visible online. Smaller villages often have interesting points of views or points of interest like hiking tours or cultural sites or local events, but they may not have many accommodations or strong tourism infrastructure. Because of this, these places are often overlooked in traditional travel planning, which usually focus on well-known destinations. So Freeda helps highlight these hidden experiences by integrating them into a larger regional context and showing them to visitors based on their interest and location. So basically this makes it easier for guests to discover lesser-known attractions in small towns and rural areas, supports a better distribution of visitors across the regions, so we don't have like I don't know, a big bulk of visitors in one place and no visitors in the other. Well, it also helps local businesses and communities benefit from tourism, even in places where tourism is not the main economic focus.
Okay, so now we heard a lot theoretical stuff, and I think we are all quite curious how the tool looks like, how it works. So if I were a visitor planning a trip today, so how would Freeda guide me through the process? Could you show us Freeda in life?
I can show you, so you're getting a very exclusive sneak peek. As I said, it's still in development, so please excuse some bugs or maybe it's not going to work very good. Especially today we had a big update, so it's it's a bit buggy, but let's try. I'm just gonna quickly. So basically, this is the start of Freeda. Please excuse it, it's still in German and not in English, but I'm trying to explain it to you that you can understand what you're about to see. So this is the start, and then you can click here. This means jetzt losgehen or just let's go, basically. Okay, so here you can put in a name or the name of the city or the town you're visiting. Let's just take Wernstein am Inn. This is a small region in Upper Austria, but it's directly on the border to Germany. So we can see basically how it works cross-border. Here you can put a radius. So you can put 5 kilometers, for example, which you can put if you want to stay just in Wernstein, for example, or 15 kilometers if you want to go a little bit further, or 40, or you can just put that you don't really care how long you drive. So this basically means I don't care. And here you can put in the date you are looking for. So I just put here in 2 weeks on a Saturday, and then I click here. So these are the interests. You can click these or unclick if you're interested in very sporty activities, or you just want a bit of a laid back but you also a laid back day, but you also want to experience some nature, or you don't really want to do anything at all, so you can put this, or you want to experience a spa day or something like that. Or the last one is Stadt und Kultur, which means like I want to visit cities and see some culture. Okay, so I'm just not going to put anything for now. We can try this later. And here you can put in, I want to go by bike. So I just put here Fahrradfahren, for example. Basically just means I want to do something with biking or something like that. But you can put here whatever. And then I click here, which is Erlebnisse anzeigen. So now it shows me the results. Here it summarizes it. It tells you what you put in, and then it puts it out in a small, the AI puts it out in a small text for you to read. And it also puts out these points of interest, so you can see them here also. It's quite an old picture, but you also can just like click here and it guides you directly to this restaurant, for example. So here it shows you the top results. So based on what I put in, well, in this case, I didn't put in anything, but based on if the point of interest is opened, or based off the weather, your locations, the season also, and also possible cookies. So if you use the Freeda before, then it remembers, if you activated your cookies, it remembers it, and it shows you objects or data objects based on your interests before. Okay, so what I already put there before is what you can do is by clicking this symbol here, you can save this experience or this restaurants in a favorite list. So if I click here, in this case it's already there, then it's going to this list. We can click here. In this case, it's just this list. Okay, I kind of already put that. Sorry. Let's a moment, please. Yes. Yeah, sorry, it's a bit buggy. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's still. Okay, so basically what it does is here you have your saved objects. So Burg Wernstein, Inntal Klettergarten, and in Donaurunde, this is a bike region. This is a climbing garden by a bike route or tour, a climbing garden, and this is a burg. I don't know.
The old castle.
A castle, yes. And here the AI also summarizes again what you saved in your list. And then when you go to Tagesplan erstellen, it makes a day plan for you. So it just puts together these your interests, your favorites, and then creates a plan for you to do. It takes a few seconds. So it basically says to me that from 9 to 12:30 I should do the biking tour, and it also kind of describes what I'm going to about to see. So where there are maybe spots where I have a beautiful view or something like that, or well, also what I can experience while doing this tour, and then a break in Schering, which is the next city there, what I can do there, for example. Like I didn't put in Schering, but it just the AI thought maybe I would be interested in it, and then it tells me to visit the Burg Wernstein. And also, what is the Burg Wernstein? What do I see there? What can I see there? And stuff like this. And then it tells me to go to the climbing garden. And also, it creates a checklist for what I should bring on this trip. On this case, it's quite a lot because I want to go biking and climbing. But yeah, I think it's a neat little gadget. Yeah, exactly. So you can do this um, with any city or region you want. Let's take, for example, Passau, which is a little bit of a bigger city in East Bavaria, but also on the border to Austria. And then when I click here, well, obviously it's going to show a bit more cultural things like museums and stuff like this. Yeah. Exactly. So this is Freeda, or this is like the now version of Freeda.
Okay, thanks a lot, Verena, so far. So summarizing is kind of a tool for exploring new regions, new experiences, and so on, but also a tool that supports you in planning your trip based on AI, also combining different experiences, giving recommendations for the best experiences, also the recommendations where to have a break, where to go for food, and so on, even if you didn't make this specific choice at the beginning. So I think it's a great tool. And of course, there's a lot of data needed behind such a tool. Could you tell us what are or were the biggest challenges during the development? So you mentioned that it is still in development, there are still some bugs. What are the biggest challenges in developing such a tool and implementing a tool?
So in the development process, we faced quite several challenges. One important topic, of course, was the use of AI. While AI can support personalized information or recommendation, it can also produce so-called hallucinations. So it creates information that is simply not true or incorrect, and is not based on real data. I mean, we see this in our ChatGPT and all the usual AI systems, that sometimes you really have to check where they get this information from. So to avoid providing misleading information, we decided not to implement a chatbot, so something like ChatGPT, and instead rely on structured tourism data, so local databases from East Bavaria and Austria. And this brings us to another challenge, which is, of course, data quality and data maintenance. I mean, as we saw here, there can be some some objects that are a little bit outdated, where the pictures aren't quite as beautiful, or sometimes even the opening hours are not correct, or it's just old information. So Freeda, our problem, or this problem, is that Freeda only uses information from these structured tourism data and not from external websites. So we wanted this to ensure that the information shown in the tool is reliable and traceable. However, it also means that the system depends very heavily on tourism providers and destinations to maintain and update their data regularly. And oftentimes there has to be someone who sits in front of the computer and has to put the correct data in the databases. So it means it's a lot of manpower behind it. Because if the data is incomplete or outdated, it directly affects the recommendations shown in Freeda. And if you have suggestions like this, sometimes it's a bit hard to get the guests to really use Freeda. So we want to make it as pretty as possible. Let's say it like this. So this is a bit of a problem. In fact, data maintenance is becoming an increasingly important issue in tourism overall. So poorly maintained or missing data does not only affect tools like Freeda, so it's not just us that is affected by it. It also can lead to incorrect or outdated information being displayed by other AI tools, such as Google AI Search, ChatGPT, or Gemini by Google. So this makes high quality and well-maintained tourism data essential for ensuring that visitors receive accurate and trustworthy information online. So this is basically our biggest challenge: the data reliability and the data quality of our databases.
Yeah, so data quality is the most important aspect, and it also shows that it's not just you or the project consortium to develop a tool, but it's also on all the regions, the tourism providers, the experience providers, accommodations, and so on, to keep their data, usable, up to date, and so on, and then it could work. There are already some questions in the chat. That's why I would directly jump into them. So the first question is, who is the provider of the tourist database and the specific application?
So the provider of the database is, in East Bavaria, it's us. So we have a database. It's called MeinTuwitz. So we gather all the information from the different districts, towns in East Bavaria. It's very diverse. Everybody uses a different system, and we are trying to get all this data to our big database, basically, and then we give it to TTG. It's a tourism technology GmbH. So it's a firm in Upper Austria, which developed Freeda, and in Upper Austria they have the system called Tour Data. This is where they have their data. And then we put it together in Freeda. So it's quite a technical roundabout about it, which is also a bit of a difficult, or was a difficulty, but now it's getting better and better by the day.
Yeah, so it's also the challenge of this interregional or cross-border project.
Yes.
And you have different databases on each side. So in Germany there's one database, and in Austria there's another one, and you have to combine it. Another question is who's gonna pay for the tokens? So who's gonna pay for be listed in the tool?
Okay. So Interact is projects are funded by the EU and like a part of it, and the other part is funded by the Tourismusverband Ostbayern or the East Graduate Tourism, and the other part is from our Upper Austrian partners. So yeah, we don't really know. This is not really my region of this project. This is something that my boss does basically. So I can't really answer that question.
In general, do companies or experience providers, accommodations, and so on, do they have to pay to be listed on Freeda?
No. So these databases, they already exist, and we want our providers to experience providers and hosts to use these databases and already to be listed here because, well, we have an interest for guests to come to these regions, and we are interested that they also visit these experience providers. So no, we don't take money from them directly for Freeda.
Okay. So there's another comment. So thanks for the info. Freeda looks like it could be a very practical solution for rural areas. However, it needs a very good and broadly open database. Yeah, you already mentioned this, that database is the most important aspect. And then there's another question. So do you use the standard Route 3.0 from Deutsche Tourismusverband in Ostbayern for data quality? You know?
No, I'm not quite sure.
Okay, it's a quite technical question, so but I would suggest that we could answer it afterwards.
Okay, I know. Sorry, I had to. I quickly. So which in general what we use is basically the data quality from the Bayern cloud. I don't really know if there's not really a term for it. So they have criteria, and this is like we want to have this standard, let's say it like this. And then for Freeda, we used another quality criteria for it to show the best thing. So, for example, there are quite a few points of interest that don't they don't have listed their open hours. And for Freeda to function correctly, we need opening hours. So in our databases and in the websites of the Tourismusverband Ostbayern or in East Bavaria, we show these points of interest, but for Freeda, we don't really have an option for them to show these because otherwise it didn't work. So because it only shows you points of interest that are open or are on this day that you chose. So we have to have a little bit of higher quality criteria for Freeda than we had to have we have for our own databases. I hope this kind of answers the question.
We will see. And then there is one last question. Are you also part of the project open data of the German National Tourist Board?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But in the future. Okay. So there's one last question, and I know we are running out of time, but there's the question if the project is already available. So the platform, is it already published?
It's not really published yet. No. We want to publish it in April. Well, basically it is published, so you can put it in, but for like it's not for a broader audience. It's not published yet.
Okay, so it's in the upcoming month that will be published, and available for everyone to use. And there's also the question if it's possible to get access to the database.
Oh, well, the database is not it's not public. It's basically our database. But if you're interested, you can contact us, the Tourism Association. So if there are any questions, you can write me.
Okay, that's perfect summary. In case of any further questions, please just let us know. Contact us or directly Verena from the Tourism Association. We also can forward your questions. If you only have our contacts, that's absolutely fine. Thanks a lot, Verena, for the presentation and our discussion today. Thanks a lot for all who joined the session today.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.